Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we have a review and install of the C&L Muffler Delete Axle-Back exhaust with black tips, fitting your 18 to 20 GT without the active exhaust. This exhaust is perfect for the Mustang owner who's looking to get the most sound out of their Mustang without spending the money for a full system. It boasts a very loud and aggressive exhaust note thanks to the muffler delete design of this axle-back. This exhaust features stainless steel construction with mandrel bent tubing and dual black tips. I'm giving this exhaust a strong 4 out of 5 on the loudness meter. The fact that it deletes the rear mufflers and puts straight pipes there definitely wakes up the sound of your exhaust a ton. It still has the factory resonator at the center, so it's not quite a straight pipe system, which is why I didn't give it a 5. However, this is one of the louder options, and you should choose this exhaust if you want the most out of an axle-back. So as far as price goes, this one comes in at around $250, making it a budget-friendly way to get the most sound out of your Mustang without doing a full system. I'm giving this install a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It does require cutting to slip fit this exhaust over your existing piping, but it can be done within 2 hours. So with that said, let's jump into our install. For this install, you will need an impact gun or a ratchet, a 15mm socket, a Sharpie or other permanent marker, eye protection, you may want a rubber mallet, you'll need a reciprocating saw or other cutting tool, and you may want an exhaust hanger removal tool. Alright, so once you have your Mustang in the air, either on the lift or jack stands, we're going to mark our spot on the exhaust and we're going to make our cut. Now you can take this entire exhaust off and cut it separately, but I think it's a little bit easier to cut it on the car, and it doesn't actually need to come off, so we can do it right on the car. Let's grab a Sharpie and make our mark. All right, so we're going to cut right after this 90-degree bend. You want to make sure that you're cutting in the straight section, and you want to give yourself as much of the straight section as you can for the exhaust to clamp onto. So our mark is going to go right at the end of the 90-degree bend and the beginning of this straight here. So right about this area. You can get a straight edge if you want to be more precise. All right, once our mark is made, we're grabbing our reciprocating saw and we're going to make our cut. Try to make sure your cut is as straight as you possibly can so your exhaust can slide over the pipe nicely. All right, at this point, we're going to remove the large muffler now that it is off the exhaust. We're going to take it out of the hanger here. If you don't want to take it out of the hanger, you can remove the 2 13mm bolts that hold the hanger bracket on there. We're going to use one of these hanger tools to just push the posts out of the rubber hanger itself. Okay, now we can repeat that process on the other side. Again, we're going for the end of the 90. We're going to make a mark as straight as we can, all the way around. Just try to keep our cut as straight as possible. All right, now we can grab our saw and make our cut. I don't know if I said before, but make sure you're using the proper safety equipment, and you might want to grab a friend to put a hand on the muffler as you're cutting. So go ahead and make your cut. go ahead and take your muffler out. Again, if you have a second set of hands here, it could be helpful. Just make sure you're careful as it's gonna fall as soon as it's loose. All right, now that we have our factory exhaust off of our Mustang, we can check it out side by side with our C&L exhaust. Now, as you can see, the biggest difference here is the lack of that very large muffler section. C&L has a straight pipe section there, and that is where you're gonna get all of your sound from. In addition, they have a nice black powder coat finish, and the tips are quite a bit longer as well. So with that said, let's finish up our install. So now that our cut is made, if you see any rough spots, you can definitely clean them up with a wire wheel or some sandpaper. Go ahead and grab your clamp, slide it on the pipe, and now we can install our exhaust. All right, go ahead and install your exhaust in the hanger. Once it is installed in the hanger, go ahead and line up your pipe. Slide it on. All right, so if the pipe won't go all the way on, you wanna make sure there's no gap in here. You can just grab a rubber mallet and lightly tap the edge. To get it on the rest of the way. It shouldn't damage your paint, and now the pipe is fully sealed and we can clamp it down. Go ahead and position your clamp with this portion about even from each of the slits so that you get a good clamp down on this pipe and you don't get an exhaust leak. Grab a 15mm socket and tighten down your clamp. Repeat that process on the other side. Grab your 15mm socket and tighten it down. All right, so that is gonna do it for the review and install of the C&L exhaust. And remember, for all things Mustang, keep it at AmericanMuscle.com.